ladies and gentlemen. You're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
Time to play ball at Safeco Field one final time for the Yankees this season. And while this used to be the home for Ichiro and is now the home for Robinson Cano, the former Yankees teammates know that after catching up, they'll go to battle one more time with the Yankees going for the sweep in Seattle. As tonight, the YES Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the Yankees and the Mariners in the final game of 3 from Safeco Field in Seattle, Washington. On Yes After Dark. Good to have you with us one more time here from Seattle. Bob Lorenz and Ken Singleton. Yanks have won the first 2. They win last night 4-2 behind the power hitting of Mark Teixeira and the brilliant pitching of Masahiro Tanaka.
Tanaka's been brilliant all season long, Bob, but last night was one of his best efforts of the season. In fact, it was a complete game effort against the Seattle Mariners. He had just about everything working. 11 strikeouts during the course of the game. Tanaka was brilliant, to say the least. A complete game victory, and the Yankees scored 4 runs in the game, and 3 of them came on one swing of the bat. In the 5th inning, Mark Teixeira with a 3-run homer, his 17th home run in this park, and it helped the Yankees win 4-2.
And Tanaka's winning ways continue now in 13 starts with the Yankees, a 10-1 record. His ERA of 2.02 leads the American League, and that strikeout to walk ratio is just incredible. Let's take a look at tonight's pitching matchup. It's brought to you by Chevrolet. It's Roenis Elias going for the Mariners. He is 5-4, and he's won his last 2. And for Chase Whitley, getting the start for the Yankees, Kenny's feeling good coming off his first win.
First ever win that came in Kansas City earlier on this road trip, and he was brilliant. He went 7 innings. That's his longest outing in the major leagues. He got some help defensively. Nice around the horn double play. Good fastball to the inside corner. His slider is his best pitch, and it was working brilliantly as he won for the first time in the major leagues.
All right, so it's Whitley on the mound tonight, and he'll be throwing to a guy he's very familiar with, John Ryan Murphy. And when we come back, Meredith talks with Murphy. Thanks.
In just a little bit. Hey everyone, I'm Meredith Morakvitz alongside tonight's starting catcher, John Ryan Murphy. So John, you've caught Chase Whitley quite a bit throughout the minor leagues. What's been different about him this year aside from being a starter?
I think he's had a little bit of success up here already, and that makes a big difference. He understands that he's just going to pound the strike zone, and it's the same hitters, just a different league that he's trying to get guys out. So He's been really aggressive, and he's done really well.
How much better is his slider now than maybe earlier in the season?
That's been a big pitch for him recently. He just learned that last year, and it really just took off. And he's been throwing that almost more than his changeup now, so it's been really effective for him. Biggest key for tonight? Same thing he's been doing, pound the strike zone and, stick to the scouting report, and I think he's going to do great. John Ryan, thanks for the time. No problem. We'll have plenty more Yankees baseball on Yes after the break. Bob Lorenz and Ken Singleton coming up with lineups, first pitch baseball.
Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. By Buick, visit tristatebuick.com for great lease offers. And by PNC, know where you stand with PNC Total Insight. The Yankees come into the series finale 33-31, 4.5 out of their division lead, while the Mariners are at 34-31, 5.5 behind the A's in the West. Let's take a look at tonight's Yankees starting lineup presented by Lexus. And it begins with Brett Gardner in left field and leading off. Derek Jeter will be at short, batting second. Jacoby Ellsbury bats third in center field. Mark Teixeira hitting cleanup at first. Alfonso Soriano back in the lineup. He's in right field batting fifth. Carlos Beltran will DH batting sixth. Yangervis Solarte is at third base batting seventh. Brian Roberts at second base batting eighth. And John Ryan Murphy doing the catching. He rounds out the order.
Well, the Seattle Mariners have just taken the field along with tonight's starting pitcher, Roenis Elias, will make his second start against the New York Yankees this year. He beat them earlier this year at Yankee Stadium. He's 1-0 in his career. This will be his 14th start of the year. A rookie left-hander, 5-4, 3.64 ERA. You can see he's tough to hit. Only 69 hits and 81 and 2/3 innings. Let's check out our pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. In that game in New York on May the 1st at Yankee Stadium, went off on a 10K run. He struck out 10 Yankees in 7 innings as the Mariners won by a score of 4-2. In his last couple of starts, he's been breaking out a changeup, and it's an improving pitch, so the Yankees might be looking for that tonight. But one thing they know that he has is that very sharp curveball, and he used that to his advantage in New York back on May the 1st.
And coming off 2 straight wins against the Tigers and the Tampa Bay Rays. And in that start against the Tigers, who we know are a tough hitting team, he allowed just 3 hits, all singles, in throwing his first career complete game and first career shutout. Let's take a look at the defense behind Elias. It's presented by Geico. Dustin Ackley in left field, James Jones in center, and Endy Chavez is out in right. It's Kyle Seager at third, Brad Miller at short, Robinson Cano at second base, Logan Morrison at first, Mike Zunino doing the catching, and again Elias on the mound. The Mariners trying to stave off the sweep here by the Yankees. Yankees winning the opener 3-2, and then last night 4-2. And boy, Tanaka, Kenny, was just on the cusp of getting a shutout in a complete game. He did get the complete game, but he gave up that home run to Cano.
Yeah, he got a fastball up to Cano in the bottom of the 9th inning. Robinson Cano drilled it over the wall in deep left center field. But the Yankees have won these first 2 games. They've been close wins, and that increased their record overall in the season. 19-11 in games decided by 1 or 2 runs.
Well, they're looking for one of those big games that you're always talking about, trying to break out. Elias is tough to do that against. But Gardner had a nice night last night, on base 3 times, a couple singles and a walk, and we're all set to go here in Seattle. First pitch from Elias. And it's a ball 1.
Yeah, Gardner's 3 for 8 in this series. Overall on the road trip, he is 7 for 22. So he's had a nice swing through Kansas City, and now here in Seattle.
And in with a fastball to even the count at 1-1.
Gardner, we mentioned last night, usually goes deep in the count in his first at bat.
And Elias dials that one up. A little amped up right now. Ball 2, 2-1. Shot to first, but Logan Morrison has it. 1 away.
Gardner continues to hit the ball hard, and eventually they're going to fall in.
Final regular season game for the captain here in Seattle. And you hear the ovation, much like the past couple nights. And his mom and dad in attendance. They've spent the entire 3-game series here in Seattle. Remember back in 1995 at the Kingdome, this is where Jeter made his major league debut. And Jeter first pitch swinging, that's a base hit. Well, he's been on a roll so far in this series. 2 hits in the opener and 2 more hits last night.
5 for 9 now for Derek Jeter. 3rd consecutive game. He's got a base hit his first time up. Didn't waste any time. Picks on the first pitch. Line drive over second. Right over his former teammate Robinson Cano, and into right field for a base hit. Now last night, Bob, Derek wasn't satisfied being on first base. He stole 2 bases last night. First time he's done that since September 25th, 2009. 2 steals in a game.
And after he got that first stolen base, they removed the second base bag between innings. So if they gave that to him, maybe he just wants to take one more home. There's Jacoby Ellsbury. Ellsbury riding a 15-game hitting streak. And in fact, that's the longest hitting streak since Derek Jeter had a 19-game streak back in 2012.
And it hasn't been one of those one-a-day hitting streaks. He's hitting 383 during this streak. Haven't seen that breaking ball from Elias yet. Usually uses that to his advantage against the left-handed hitters. Oh, there it is. I knew it was out there somewhere.
Now Jeter on first, do you think that he's thinking to be a little more cautious? Last night it was Chris Young, the tall right-hander on the mound, and now he's got a lefty.
So a lefty who can stare him down, look directly at him, but if he feels that he can get a jump, you usually go on first move against a lefty. You take your chances that he's going to home plate if you get a proper read.
2-1 pitch. Ellsbury drives it out to right center field. That's towards the 380 sign and well beyond it. Jacoby Ellsbury dials up a 2-run home run, and the Yankees are on top 2-0.
Well, if you recall that game on May the 1st at Yankee Stadium, Ellsbury was the first hitter that Elias faced in New York, and he took him deep in the first inning. Although the Mariners went on to win the game, but this time it's a 2-run shot. Oh yeah, Ellsbury. What's it now? 16 games?
16-game hitting streak.
Sweet 16, to say the least. There it goes. It had the sound and the distance, and the Yankees are up just like that, 2-0.
Boy, he is in such a groove right now. And last night, Mark Teixeira, who's at the plate now, found his groove with that 3-run home run in the top of the 5th. So Teixeira on the season now, 11 homers and 30 runs batted in.
You were just talking about Teixeira's home run last night, the 3-run homer in the 5th inning that really was the margin that the Yankees won the game by, and that was his 17th home run in this park. Only one other player, visiting player, has hit as many as 17. It's Rafael Palmeiro, and he's not going to hit any more.
And Teixeira looks at ball 3. You wonder if that home run unsettled Elias a little bit.
No, he's a rookie out there, and sure now, a couple of pitches into the game, he's down. Teixeira might have the green light here.
Fastball in for a strike. You know, we haven't seen a lot of his off-speed stuff. Looks like he's just searching to get that fastball spotted where he wants it.
Well, he said he's been using his changeup more, but it's not his best pitch. His best pitch, of course, fastball, then the breaking ball.
There's fastball again, and Teixeira pops it up, but it's behind home plate and into the seats. Well, Yankees baseball is available in Spanish by hitting the SAP button on your television. SAP is brought to you by Infinity.
Teixeira had a very good swing at that last pitch. He was just a hair late, but now the count is 3-2. Let's see if Elias comes in with another fastball. Look at this swing. Ooh, that was just a hair late.
3-2 pitch pulls that one foul.
Yeah, now he's too quick. Somewhere in between those two.
Same spot on the barrel.
Yeah, somewhere in between those two, he'll get it just right. It's like that porridge for the 3 Bears.
Not too hot, not too cold. Let's find out what he is. Elias goes off-speed pitch and misses, and Teixeira's aboard with a walk.
And you know why he went off speed? Because the last 2 fastballs, he had one good swing and another good one. He said, I'm not going to throw that one that's just right. So he went with the one that's a little too cool, his outside ball 4.
All right, so Teixeira's on board here with a 1-out walk. Got Jeter with a hit, Ellsbury with a home run, and now Alfonso Soriano wants to join the party. Kenny, he hasn't played the last 3 games.
He hasn't played the last 3 games, and he hasn't been really swinging the bat all that well. He's 0 for 3 on this road trip. All those at bats coming in Kansas City.
First pitch swinging, drives it to center field. James Jones has it in his sights. And that's out number 2. Well, Soriano didn't waste any time finding a pitch that he liked to swing at.
Yeah, he got off the bus looking for the first thing smoke, and he got a fastball, and he hit it fairly well to center field. I've always said when hitters are slumping, you watch the way they make their outs, and it kind of gives you an indication they might be coming out of their slump. That was a pretty good swing on the first pitch that he saw.
With 2 away, here's Carlos Beltran. Beltran 2 hits in the opener, 0 for 4 last night. And ball 1. And that ball in the dirt, ball 2. Boy, he's getting behind hitters early in this game.
Yes, he is. A good stop by Zunino to keep Teixeira at first base. A young battery for these Seattle Mariners with Zunino behind the plate and Elias on the mound, 2 rookies.
Zunino, by the way, I know you noticed this in the notes, he was called up a year ago today. So he's been in the big leagues exactly 1 year. The 3-0 to Beltran. Swinging on 3-0.
Yeah, he got turned loose. Joe Girardi thinking maybe we can get 2 more out of this and get Beltran going in the bargain. Getting him going because he's been struggling, coming off disableness with the bad elbow. Maybe getting him a pitch right down the middle he could really jump on. Right now the Yankees have driven that pitch count over 20 here in the first inning. They did the same thing in the first 2 games.
And a hot shot up the middle. Brad Miller won't get to that. Big 2-out base hit there by Beltran. And now the Yankees have runners at first and second with Yangervis Solarte coming to bat. Let's check out the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. Another beautiful day in Seattle today, Kenny. We got lucky 3 in a row that have been nice. And a little cloudy. It's colder than it was the past couple nights. And a little breezier as well.
Yeah, there might be a chance of rain, so that roof is on call.
The guy that presses the button is on standby?
Yeah, he's near it. He's not too far away from it. His pitching coach, Rick Waits, comes after the mound. Remember we said the pitch count has gotten over 20. The Yankees did the same thing last night with Chris Young. Got his pitch count up in the first inning. In the opening game of the series, they did the same thing against Hisashi Iwakuma. So the pitches that they throw early in the game, they won't be able to throw later on in the ballgame. Rick Waits, nickname was Waiter back in the day.
So here's Yangervis Solarte, batting .288 on the season, 6 homers, 28 runs batted in. Teixeira's on second, Beltran on first.
And Solarte, as you said, Bob, hitting .288, but his number with runners in scoring position is better than that. He's .321 with runners in scoring position.
Does not have a hit in this series. But he might now as he lifts one out to left. No, into the glove of Dustin Ackley. Just not enough on it. But the Yankees get 2 on the board as Jacoby Ellsbury continues his hot hitting. A 2-run home run. He's got a 16-game hitting streak, and the Yankees have a 2-0 lead. Yankees with a quick strike offense on a 2-run home run by Jacoby Ellsbury lead it 2-0. Let's check out the Mariners lineup tonight that will go up against Chase Whitley. It begins with Endy Chavez out in right field. James Jones is the center fielder batting second. Robbie Cano plays second base and bats third. Kyle Seager hitting cleanup at third base. Stephen Romero is the DH tonight. Dustin Ackley is out in left field batting sixth. Logan Morrison plays first batting seventh. Mike Zunino does the catching hitting eighth. And Brad Miller is the shortstop and rounds out the M's order.
Chase Whitley getting the start for the Yankees tonight. 24 years old. In a couple of days he'll be 25. So he's maybe wants to give himself an early birthday gift. He's made 5 starts so far, 1-0. That win coming in his last start in Kansas City. And you can see about a hit per inning. And the walk strikeout totals and the opponents hitting .263. Time to check out our scouting report brought to you by your Honda dealers. Few free passes. He's only walked 3 batters since he's been in the rotation, and he hasn't walked a batter. His last 85 have not gotten a free pass. In air traffic control, since he's been in the big leagues, he has not given up a home run. And his best pitch, we told you before, a very good slider.
You could probably add Road Warrior. This is his 5th road start. Pitched a lot on the road and only once at Yankee Stadium. So here he goes against Endy Chavez. And first pitch in for a strike.
And another note on those road starts, the Yankees have won every one of them that he has started on the road.
A 1 pitch foul down the line, third.
Chavez checking his bat, shaking his hand. That one hurt. Hit it right off the end of the bat. Started the season at Tacoma. Right off the end. He's lucky this bat didn't shatter. Played 37 games down at AAA Tacoma. Just a ways down the road south from here. And this is his 13th major league season. As we told you last night, he's been around the block. He's played for a lot of teams.
The 0-2 misses away. Lloyd McClendon would like to keep his outfielders healthy. Chavez has started the past couple games. Michael Saunders was put on the DL today, 15-day DL.
Got a bad shoulder.
And swing and a miss. Whitley with a strikeout. Let's take a look at the defense behind Chase Whitley tonight. It's brought to you by Geico. And in left field, it's Brett Gardner. Center field, Jacoby Ellsbury. And out at right, Alfonso Soriano. Round the infield, it's Solarte, Jeter, Robertson, Teixeira. John Ryan Murphy doing the catching tonight.
You mentioned Saunders going on the disabled list, and the corresponding move was calling up former Yankee prospect Jesus Montero.
Hit well at AAA this season, but again, we always talk about this, Kenny. How does that translate to the big leagues?
Well, we saw him take batting practice here earlier today, Bob, and he was put on a special show. There's young Mr. Montero, who kind of disappointed the Mariners, showing up to spring training 40 pounds overweight.
Meredith and Ryan talked about that on the pregame. They had the quote from Zarenzik, and he just said all he did in the offseason was ate.
Well, I think he was coming off knee surgery, so his physical activity was somewhat limited, but still you can do something. You can lose, keep away from the table, just push away, you do some exercising.
He was also suspended for the 50 games in the Biogenesis case. Little ground ball to the right side. One away. So here's Jack C's quote on Montero. And he didn't mince words. I have zero expectations for Montero. Any expectations I had are gone. We were disappointed in how he came in physically. He's got a ton to prove. It's all on him. So he's up here now. McClendon will mainly use him, Kenny, against left-handers.
It's interesting. In that last sentence there, I used the word ton.
Yeah. And you can see clearly he is physically much larger than his Yankees team.
Yeah, most definitely.
Well, here's Robbie Cano. He comes in on a 9-game hitting streak and looks at strike one.
He also comes in as the league's leading hitter, hitting .332. Since May the 9th, he's hitting .387. So Cano starting to warm up with the weather.
And again, made it a little exciting in the bottom of the 9th last night with that 2-run opposite field home run off Tanaka.
His first home run here at Safeco Field.
Cano past Whitley and into center field, and that hitting streak now hits double digits. It is at 10 games.
Looked like he stayed back just enough, kept the hands back on a changeup, and slammed it through the middle for a base hit. Cano is in one of those zones, and as we said, he's been in it since about a third of the way through May. See it a little out in front, but still got good enough wood on it, and got it into center field.
That is now the 25th double-digit hitting streak of Cano's career.
Wow.
So 2 away with Cano at first, and here's Kyle Seager, the third baseman. Seager's at .250, but good power numbers. 9 homers, 39 runs batted in.
Now the Mariners did not shift against Cano because we know he's a line-to-line hitter. Usually guys who hit high in the 300s hit to all fields, but Seager's more of a pull hitter. He's hitting only .250, but he leads the Mariners in home runs.
So Solarte is moved over by second base. Brian Roberts is out in shallow right.
You see Solarte, after each pitch, he moves towards second base. Pitch that isn't swung. Now he's going back to his position. There's two reasons for it. Number one, when the throw comes back from the catcher, he's actually backing up just in case it's a wild throw. That doesn't happen very often, but he'll be prepared. And number two, if there is a delayed steal, he's already moving towards second base, so the catcher will have somebody to throw to. He won't be caught off guard.
And no need for Cano to go anywhere because Kyle Seager strikes out. So Whitley, after giving up the single, gets out of that jam. He strikes out two here in the first as we head to the second. Hybrid vehicle of the Yankees. We've been asking you, who do you think has the best throwing arm among active Major League outfielders and why? Follow US Network and tweet us your responses using the hashtag YankeesPrees to keep the conversation going. M-Franchise2 said Yoenis Cespedes has the best throwing arm. Have you seen those replays? That's why. The replays are incredible.
Yeah, that's impressive. I like Jose Bautista in Toronto. He's got a very strong arm.
Mike Trout,
yeah.
Yasiel Puig.
Yeah, there's a few of them out there.
We might like to show it off a little too much once in a while. But.
You know, when you start throwing it over the cutoff, man, then I think that's style points.
Right.
You get something taken off. But you rarely, in this day and age, you see center fielders who can throw runners out at the plate. Mike Trout's one of them.
Brian Roberts at the plate, hitting 8 tonight. Who had the best arm you ever saw?
Maybe ever. Berto Clemente. Yeah, he was awesome.
Line shot to Robbie Cano right there to take a base hit away from Brian Roberts. One away here in the top of the second. Let's take a look at those throws, Kenny, against the Angels by Yoenis Cespedes.
Yeah, this one I think it's Howie Kendrick. I mean, he just right on the money.
Derek Norris didn't have to move it an inch.
The thing about it, he bobbled both of these balls, and you begin to think maybe he did it on purpose.
Right.
So he could just throw somebody out. Done deal.
Pujols out at third. Oh, by the way, the Yankees are headed after this down to Oakland, and they'll see Cespedes.
Just don't hit the ball to him.
And the A's. It's a good point. Keep it somewhere else on the field. Here's John Ryan Murphy. He's at .296 on the season, a home run and 8 runs batted in.
Yeah, John Ryan's hit a little speed bump here with the bat. He's 0 for his last 11. His average has dropped under 300. You know, we know he doesn't get all that much playing time, but he was up there around 385, 370. sometimes when you don't get that much playing time, your hitting stroke gets a little stale.
Are you talking about golf or baseball?
No, that too.
0-2 pitch. This is inside 1-2.
In the first inning, Elias threw 24 pitches. Yesterday, Chris Young, the Yankees got him up to 31. In the opening game, Hisashi Iwakuma threw 25 in the first inning.
And a swing and a miss for Murphy for out number 2.
That's that improving changeup we talked about, and then Elias is going to pick up his first strikeout of the night. Now that's more of a curveball, off-speed curve that strikes out John Ryan Murphy. Last year, Elias was doing his pitching in the Southern League, and he was an all-star. That's Double-A.
Well, he was signed out of Cuba in what, 2010, so he's been fast-tracked. There's no doubt about it.
If you talk to his manager, Lloyd McClendon, he says he's fearless. And why not? He spent 30 hours in a boat defecting from Cuba. Went to Mexico. Didn't get the publicity that some of the other defectors like Puig had gotten, or Cespedes, but he just went to a tryout camp in Mexico, and the Mariners saw him and signed him. Left his family behind, as just about all the defectors do, hoping that one day they'll get to see them again.
Well, he comes in at 5-4 with a 3.64 ERA, which is a nice ERA in the American League. 5-4 probably because this team doesn't give him a ton of run support. But when you think about Felix Hernandez, Iwakuma, that's a pretty good front three.
Yeah, it is.
And by the way, the Yankees missing King Felix in this series. Guess who gets him tomorrow night? Texas Rangers. they got enough problems. They got to face Felix tomorrow.
Plus, the Mariners are thinking that sometime down the road here, maybe in the not too distant future, they'll get 2 young pitchers back. James Paxton, who looked so good during the course of the early season, and Taijuan Walker, another outstanding young arm that they might be getting back sometime soon.
Here's the 2-2 to Gardner. Fouled away.
So they've got the makings of an outstanding pitching staff. Their offense, really, as you said, Bob, doesn't really match up with the men that they send to the mound. Lowest team batting average in the league.
And they hope that Gardner had gone beyond the plane, but he doesn't break it.
Yeah, Mike Muchlinski, the third base umpire, said, no, he didn't go. We get another look. And he held up. And once again, Gardner has gone deep into a count. 3-2 as far as you can go.
And in for a strike. So Gardner thought it was ball 4, and he'll talk to Mark Wegner a little bit about that one. But that does it. A 1-2-3 top of the second for Elias as he strikes out Gardner. 2 Ks in the inning. 3 in theaters tomorrow. And by your Tri-State BMW Centers. Final game of 3 in Seattle, and the Yankees have a 2-0 lead as we head to the bottom of the second inning. Chase Whitley will face the 5, 6, 7 hitters in the Mariners order, starting with Stephen Romero. Romero, another one of the outfield options for the Mariners, DHing tonight.
And this will be his 8th start as the designated hitter and his first appearance of this series.
Comes in at 210, 3 homers, 10 runs batted in. First pitch swinging, skied high into the air along the third base line. Foul territory, creeping back towards the chalk, but Solarte has it one away.
When you see those high towering pop-ups, that means the hitter was underneath it, but he got very good wood on it. And Romero came off the bench as a DH and looking for a fastball, swung at it and fouled out.
1 pitch, 1 out. Here's Dustin Ackley. Ackley with 4 homers and 24 runs batted in. And he's had a pretty good series. He's had a couple hits.
He needs to get going, though. In the last 19 games, he's under 200. He knows you continue that pace, the manager starts to look for other options.
Those aren't the kind of swings you want to have to impress your manager.
Yeah, there's that good slider once again.
And good morning, good afternoon, and good night.
Wow, those 2 weak swings. And the 3rd strikeout for Chase Whitley. Let's see what this pitch is. Ackley was nowhere near it. That's that changeup. You can see it just fade down and away. Not only was it off speed, but it is fading away. He missed that by a good 6 to 12 inches. 2 down.
And that brings up Logan Morrison. Morrison off the DL yesterday and started at first as Justin Smoke went on the 15-day DL. First pitch swinging, drives it out to right. That's gone. A 2-run home run, Logan Morrison. It's now a 2-1 game. For Morrison, that is his first home run of the season.
And also the first home run that Chase Whitley has ever given up in the big leagues. And there's some happy fans out there for the Seattle Mariners. Morrison was hitting well down in AAA. And he's going to get a pitch to his liking. Yeah, this is something that hangs up in the middle of the plate, and he doesn't miss it. 18 games at AAA, he was hitting over 300 with 3 homers. And the Mariners actually traded for him. They got him from the Marlins a few years back.
So Lomo goes solo, and it's a 2-1 game.
In Sodo. This is south of downtown. That's it.
Very nice. Mike Zunino, 7 homers and 22 runs batted in. Well, Whitley is really getting him to chase that outside pitch.
Yeah, good slider. That's his signature pitch, and really the right-handed hitters, when they have problems with him, it usually has something to do with that slider.
One. Zunino sends it out to right center field. Soriano and Ellsbury converge, and Ellsbury has it, and that will do it. But not until after Logan Morrison hits a solo shot to make it a 2-1 game. Yankees take on the Blue Jays in a divisional matchup. The first 18,000 guests 21 and older will receive a Yankees Dunkin' Donuts card preloaded with $2. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window. Yankees clubhouse shops or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Back in the top of the third, and Captain Derek Jeter leading things off. 4 hits so far in this series, 5, and 2 stolen bases. Singled in his first at bat. And he's got himself another one. Ooh. Elias couldn't get the kick save, so Jeter's aboard for a second time.
You know, I'm thinking with Derek's mom and dad here, maybe they should have gone to every single game. You know, I know they have their own lives to live, but he's been showing off for the folks here.
There's only about 100 more to go.
Yeah, that's true. 6 hits now in this series.
2-1 Yankees on the Audi A3 scoreboard. 4 hits, one of those a 2-run shot from Jacoby Ellsbury.
Yeah, Derek's seen 2 pitches and he has 2 hits tonight.
Ellsbury would love to see another fastball. You know, Jeter's parents are already here in Seattle. They're on the West Coast. They might as well just come down to Oakland, right?
Well, to San Francisco and Oakland. Yeah, that's. Dr. Charles and Dorothy. Stop. Ellsbury's been kind of showing off for the home folks too. He's got some relatives here. He's from Oregon.
Fastball misses up 2-0. Oregon State star. Zunino quickly out to talk to Elias.
Yeah, well, while he's out there, I just want to. I was remiss last night. I forgot to mention a birthday. We had special birthday greetings to Elizabeth Calandra of Cortland Manor, New York. She is a young 93 years old, big Yankee fan, and loves watching her Yankees. Hopefully she's up at 10 of 11 back east. But we just want to wish you a very happy birthday. From all of us at Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
While we want you to stay up, if you feel like you need to go to sleep, just know the Yankees have a lead. And they've got 2 base runners on here in the top of the third after a leadoff single and now a walk to Ellsbury.
Elizabeth is a very big Michael Kay fan.
Is she?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Well, who isn't? We all are.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Second walk handed out by Elias, and he's got himself in a little hot water here in the third inning. Things are starting to percolate.
There's Mark Teixeira. We remember in his first at bat, he was stinging the ball before he drew a walk. And a swing and a miss.
Change up.
Pitch lifted to shallow right field, and you see Andy Chavez track it down, and the runners retreat 1 away.
Elias has some interesting numbers when it comes to his working his way through the batting order various times. The first time through, the opposition hits .297 against him, but then it seems like he gets a feel for what he's doing that night. Second time through, .204. And if he's in the game the third time through, only 176. So it appears if you're going to get him, you got to get him early. And they say that about a lot of good pitchers.
Well, here's Alfonso Soriano, was first pitch swinging in his first at bat. Drilled one into center, but it was caught by Jones. Soriano fouls one away. The count at 0-2.
Yeah, when you're struggling, it seems like when you step in the box, it's no balls and 2 strikes.
Like you said, we're seeing the tide change, where Elias in the first inning was getting behind just about every hitter. He's ahead here in the second and third.
Yeah, he faced 7 batters in the first inning, and of course the Yankees scored 2 runs on 3 hits. But still, they've got an opportunity here with just 1 out to increase their lead. And this has been a point for the Yankees up until maybe the last couple of games here in Seattle. They're starting to hit a little better with runners in scoring position.
Soriano wraps one into left field. That'll split the outfielders and get to the wall. Jeter will score. Ellsbury being waved around. He'll score easily. Soriano has a double, and the Yankees increase their lead to 4-1.
Well, there's your hitting with runners in scoring position. There's Soriano maybe coming out of the throes of a long slump, as he's going to rip this one, no doubter. High fastball, gets on top of it, runs it up the gap in left center field. Outfielders immediately in the chase mode and retrieving up against the wall in left center. And you always like to have a fast guy on first base when you hit a double. So Ellsbury scored relatively easy, and the Yankees get 2 more runs. Jeter score from second. Ellsbury turning second. He's got one thing on his mind right here. I'm going to score another run. Soriano has a double, and the Yankees are up 4-1.
And there's first pitch swinging from Carlos Beltran. Beltran singled in his first at bat. And with that play in front of Ellsbury, he could see quickly, Kenny, that ball was going to hit the grass and skid to the wall.
It skidded to the wall. Not only did it get to the wall, it stayed against the wall. It didn't rebound off the wall for the outfielders to pick it up even more quickly.
Pitch. Beltran can't hold up. 1-2.
And in this day and age, with the outfield walls being padded, that happens more often than not. The ball will hit and just stay right there at the wall, as opposed to when I was playing, the walls weren't padded in most stadiums. And the ball would hit, carry them off the wall, and the outfielder didn't have to go get it. And maybe you could hold somebody at third base.
And strike 3 there as Elias goes breaking ball.
Here's a look at the ball, up against the wall, hits, gets underneath. And, you know, when outfielders became more expensive, then they started to pad the walls.
Right. But they leave that little gap down below.
Yeah.
And that we've seen that happen a couple of times in the series.
And that is solid concrete behind that padding. And that's the way it used to be, folks.
Two away, and here's Solarte, who flew out to left field in his first at bat.
There's still another run out there. Solarte can get it in. He flew out to left field, but he had a good swing, hit a ball off the end of the bat to left field. Solarte is a good high fastball hitter from both sides of the plate.
Soriano breaking for third. Zunino down, and he's in there. He's safe. Well, that was a bit of a gamble with 2 outs, but he saw something and liked it and took it. So Soriano has stolen base here with 2 away.
Yeah, that's his first steal of the year. Right? You're seeing the Soriano from days gone by when he was a 40-40 player. That was a year in Washington with the Nationals. He had over 40 homers and 40 steals, and you can see that left hand gets in there, and that's his first stolen base of the season. Seager over the cover. The throw is a little bit to the foul side of the bag, and that gives Soriano time to get in. Oh, he's feeling good. Those couple of days rest did him well, didn't it?
Freshened up those legs. 1-2 to Solarte, swings, ball bounces in the dirt, and he's tagged out by Zunino. But the Yankees put 2 more on the board, as after 3 days off, Alfonso Soriano back in the lineup and back swinging away. Splits the outfielders, knocks in 2, 4-1 Yanks. Be in Oakland to begin the 3-game weekend set with the American League West leading A's. Coverage starts at 9:30 with the Tri-State Ford pregame. Then Kenny and I will have made the trip down the coast for the call, only on Yes. Well, the Yankees would like to head to Oakland with a sweep here in Seattle. They've got a 4-1 lead right now for Chase Whitley. He will face the 9-1-2 hitters. 4 runs on 5 hits on the Audi A3 scoreboard. Big 2-run home run by Ellsbury, and then a 2-run double by Alfonso Soriano.
Chase Whitley from a small town in Alabama, Ranburne, Alabama. And I decided to look it up, see where it is. It's about 70 miles west of Atlanta, just across the border from Georgia. And the 2012 population, the census said there's 406 people.
Wow.
From Ranburne. So
that is a small town in Alabama.
That's a small town.
And Brad Miller flips one into left for a leadoff single here in the 3rd.
So hopefully they've been enjoying his pitching in the big leagues. He's done a fine job for the Yankees, and hopefully some of them are watching tonight.
And he and closer David Robertson have a kinship.
Yeah, they're both from Sweet Home, Alabama.
Big fans of the Crimson Tide.
And one thing Whitley has done since he's been called up to the big leagues, he's thrown strikes. Just 3 walks in let's see how many innings now. About 28 in the 3rd innings. And tonight you can see the total of 27 pitches. Only 6 of them have been out of the strike zone.
He is all over the plate. He also has 3 strikeouts tonight. Like to get a ground play, got a double play, ground ball. But that one's hit in the air instead by Chavez as Teixeira tracks it over onto the dirt and makes the catch, 1 away.
So Chavez now 0 for 2. And it'll bring up James Jones. Last night we were talking about Jones. We said that he's from Brooklyn, New York, and that he's had pretty good success since being called up to the big leagues, hitting 286. He was hitting over 300 down at AAA.
Tries to lay down a little bunt to Shera. The catch, but Miller with the presence of mind to get back before he can get tagged. 2 away.
Well, Jones trying to take advantage of his speed, pops one up. And I was going to say that he earlier had put together a 14-game hitting streak, but this is not how he did it. As he pops up this bunt to Shera with the easy play, and as Bob said, Miller's recognized right away. He's got to get back to the safety of first base.
That could have been very convenient for Teixeira. Just turn around, tag him,
or let it drop.
Right, right. All right, so 2 outs. Miller still at first, and here's Robbie Cano, who singled in his first at bat. And looks at strike 1. Quick snap throw down, and John Ryan Murphy throws it into right field. That will allow Miller to go to second. He's going for third as Soriano has problems with the ball out there, and he'll end up at third base. Well, Murphy threw that ball to first, but Teixeira was nowhere near the bag.
Yeah, he didn't have much of a chance at flagging this one down. Trying to pick Miller off, and really he didn't have that much of a lead. You weren't going to get him anyway. Soriano had some problems with it, and the fans were getting all excited. They think he was going to score from first, but when you're down by 3 runs, you're going to make sure that this ball gets by Soriano. But Miller's going to have to stop at third. But he's over there with 2 outs.
And Whitley comes in on Cano and gets him to foul one off. 1-2. Well, Cano during his 10-game hitting streak now, 14 of 37, 4 extra base hits and 4 runs batted in, and a single will knock in a run here.
By the way, that's the first error of the season for John Ryan Murphy.
One-two hits Cano. So he'll be aboard. It'll be first and third with 2 outs. You know, as much as Whitley didn't try to hit him there, it's not a bad thing. Cano's the one guy right now you do not want to be pitching to, the guy in scoring position.
Yeah, that's true, but he's also going to bring the tying run to the plate as it hits him on the guard, so he's well protected there. That is the 3rd batter that Whitley has hit with a pitch this season.
He's already struck out Kyle Seager once. He'd like to do it again and get out of a jam here in the 3rd. Strike 1. Kenny, the roof is on the move.
Oh, yes, it is. There must be some showers in the area. The roof had been open ever since we got here. Had some pretty good weather.
Pitch inside. 1-1.
They wouldn't close it without a reason. They know there's rain around here.
Yeah, they do. Keep in mind the shift is on. Solarte is essentially playing second base with Robertson shallow right. 1-1.
That is an amazing structure. I was reading about it. It said there's enough steel in the roof to build a 55-story skyscraper.
Seager hammers one, but way foul.
It's like a giant carport.
It is. The world's most expensive carport.
Yeah, most definitely.
2-2 pitch to Seager. Whitley tried to get out of a jam. Comes in with a fastball. Got him looking. What a big spot for a strikeout from Whitley. Runners at first and third, and he strikes out Seager to keep it a 4-1 game. NY quits for free help today. Derek Jeter is one of 4 Yankees to record at least 200 hits in a season since 1990. Who are the other 3? We'll have the answer for you in the bottom half of the inning. Well, you see the roof continue to cover Safeco Field here with rain on the way. They didn't want to wait around for any sort of weather disturbance.
Well, you can kind of feel it in the air. You can feel the humidity, and it's getting a little cooler.
4-1 Yankees here in the 4th on the Lincoln scoreboard. Chase Whitley did a nice job getting out of a 2-on jam there in the bottom of the 3rd. So Brian Roberts leading things off here in the 4th. Line to second base in his first at bat. In for a strike, 2-1.
Yeah, no shifting when Brian Roberts comes to the plate. Everybody in their positions. That's where Abner Doubleday laid him out years ago.
Fouls out one away. What do you think Abner would say if he all of a sudden showed up at a game and there's 3 guys on the right side of the infield?
That's not the way I planned it.
Yeah, right. Stands up yelling from his seat. Hey, get back over there. That's how I'm assuming Abner Doubleday would sound.
Yeah.
Just a guess. Breaking ball misses 3-2. You know what I find myself doing, Kenny? Between pitches, I look up at the roof. It's almost like it's its own attraction.
I'm sure there's a lot of fans doing the same thing.
And Elias misses, and Roberts is aboard with a walk. You know what that's like when you heat something up in the microwave? What do? You stand there and stare at the microwave. It's not a television. There's no attraction in there. But you still do it.
Brian Roberts using his skills from days gone by as a leadoff hitter, one of the best in the American League, and works a walk, getting things going here in the 4th.
That'll bring up John Ryan Murphy, who struck out in his first at bat.
those skills as a leadoff hitter used to translate to stealing bases for the Baltimore Orioles back in the day.
Would you be more apt as a manager to try and get him to second base knowing that Murphy's struggling? You want to find a way to get him in scoring position?
Yeah, he did it himself.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Murphy's struggling with a base hit to center, 2 aboard.
Well, that breaks an 0 for 12. And sometimes I can see why Joe Girardi would let him hit there, even though he's struggling, because after a base on balls, a pitcher has to regain the strike zone. And usually that means you get a pitch that you can hit. And Elias comes in with a fastball right there. I'm sure he could have bunted it, got it down. Well, here we're going to take a look at it on Yes Mo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. And there's a line drive into center field. And now the Yankees have 2 on and nobody out. The same situation they had last inning when they scored 2 runs.
And back to the top of the order, and Brett Gardner, who would love to get his first hit of the night. He grounded to first and struck out looking on what he thought was a questionable pitch. Squares to bunt, pulls the bat back, 1-0.
Let's see if he's going to bunt again here. The Mariners are looking for it. Morrison's in tight at first. Seager's on the grass at third. The problem for the Mariners, not only if he gets a bunt down, they're going to have to hustle to get him out at first if it's a good bunt.
Looks at a strike, 1-1. Saw Dominic Leone up in the bullpen. Again, Elias came in with 2 really strong outings against the Tigers and Rays in his last 2 starts, but the Yankees have done a really nice job of making him work tonight. Squares to bunt again and pulls the bat back. Zunino down to second and right into the leg of Brian Roberts.
Miller's looking for the baseball, and the ball was in between the legs of Roberts. This is Brian Roberts' version of the hidden ball trick.
Baseball entertains us in a variety of ways.
Yes, it can. Doesn't take all that much.
And Elias misses the strike zone again, 3-1.
Now let's see if they turn Gardner loose. He might get one right down the chute here that he can really hit hard. The bunt's been on this whole at bat. Maybe it comes off now.
And maybe just the idea of that bunt is rattling Elias a little bit. He's already down 4-1, and the Yankees have 2 on and are threatening for more.
He's walked 3 in 3+ innings. To start in New York, he walked only 2 in 7 innings.
'70th pitch of the night on the way. Not yet.
And if you noticed, as he faked the second, Gardner did not square around the bunt.
Now he does, and gets the bunt down. Elias will have 1 play at first base as Gardner moves the runners up. Second and third with 1 away.
And so they stay with the bunt, and he gets the job done. Gardner with the sacrifice moves the runners up, and that's his 4th successful sacrifice of the year, and he leads the Yankees in that category. Here's the bunt. Wasn't the best, but he gets in front of it, Elias, and with Roberts at second, a good base runner and decent speed, there was only 1 play.
So one more look at that for Elias. He leads down 4-1 with runners at second and third. We'll be right back on Yes after this. The Verizon call to the bullpen early in this game after just 3 1/3 innings from Roenis Elias. He brings out Dominic Leone. Take a look at the numbers on Leone. 23 games, 26 2/3 innings, 19 hits, 10 walks, and 31 strikeouts.
Yeah, he's been pretty good. 1.35 ERA would tell you right away he's been doing the job out of the bullpen. He's second among major league rookies relievers in strikeouts with 31. We know who's number one. Dellin Betances.
Yeah.
And how far is he behind him? Leone has 31. Betances has 63 strikeouts. So he's got a commanding lead in that category among rookie relievers.
Well, again, Elias, a career low in pitches, shortest outing of his career, just 3 1/3. He threw 70 pitches, and the Yankees have sent him packing and are now threatening with runners at second and third. And got the right guys up, Jeter and Ellsbury tonight. Jeter and Ellsbury 3 for 3, a homer, a walk, 2 runs batted in, and 4 runs scored out of the 2 and 3 spots.
Infield in for the Mariners.
Jeter first pitch swinging, fouls it away. He's attacked early in the count tonight, Kenny, with a couple hits on one on the first pitch he saw, and then I think it was 2 or 3 pitches in.
Yeah, that's only the third pitch he's seen tonight. 2 singles, 2 runs scored, now foul ball on the first pitch.
Jeter, a base hit to right field. 2 runs will come in to score. Wow, play at the plate. Really strong throw by Endy Chavez. But despite that, the 2 runs scored. Jeter with his 3rd hit of the night, and the Yankees with a 6-1 lead.
Well, Jeter's now seen, what, 4 pitches, 3 hits? Kind of fights this one off, gets enough wood on it to flip it over the head of Logan Morrison at first. And the Yankees, well, they got 2 leadoff men on last inning, scored 2 runs. Those 2 men who got on this inning score again, and the Yankees are now up 6-1. Jeter with 2 runs batted in.
And now Jacoby Ellsbury, first pitch swinging, drives Dustin Ackley back a few steps, but he'll have it 2 away.
Well, the way those runs are charged to Elias.
You look at his numbers against the Mariners in this series: 7 for 11, 2 runs batted in, 4 runs scored. And for Jeter, career games against Seattle, he's 53 of 169 with 2 or more hits. So now 2 away, and Jeter at first, and here's Mark Teixeira. Teixeira has walked and flown out to right field. Ball in the dirt from Leone. Play the shift on Teixeira. Seager has moved across the diamond, and Cano out in shallow right. And Teixeira trying to beat the shift. We'll see if he can get there. He does not, and that will do it. But at least goes opposite field, giving that a try. Yankees put 2 more on the board here in the top of the 4th on a big 2-out hit by Derek Jeter. Here at Safeco Field as Lieutenant Colonel Kevin Stoll of Auburn, Washington native. His family was waiting as part of the salute to those who served. Now his wife Jennifer was in on it. She knew that he had come back from a tour in Iraq. He was there for 12 months, but his kids did not know. They thought they were just being honored as part of Major League Baseball's salute to those who serve, and instead he came out of the Mariners dugout and surprised his kids Solden and Seville and his wife Jennifer with his presence.
That is really neat. You know, every time you see one of these reunions, it just it makes you feel proud that of our servicemen. They're willing to spend time away from their families, many times in the heat of the battle. And when you see these reunions, you can see how happy the kids are. Yeah, the family sacrifice as well. Look at his daughter. She can't believe it.
So that's Lieutenant Colonel Kevin Stoll. He is an Auburn, Washington native. He was in Iraq for the last 12 months with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. What a great reaction.
Yeah, Father's Day is going to be special this year.
Yeah. His daughter was so excited and just hugging on him, and his son was still smiling and waving for the cameras. He was enjoying both moments. Dad being home and the photo op. As we go to the bottom of the fourth, Stephen Romero leads things off against Chase Whitley. You know, Kenny, Whitley kind of flies under the radar a little bit, especially with Tanaka, for example, getting a lot of pub for what he did, what he has done. But in 5 starts coming into this, he had allowed just 7 earned runs.
Good slider there for a strike. And one thing we have to remember, Whitley was working as a reliever in the minor leagues. Now he's being stretched out. His last outing, he went 7 innings against Kansas City. That's his high water mark. He's got a nice cushion here with a 5-run lead, and the Yankees are looking for him to give innings again tonight.
Already 7 hits and 6 runs for the Yankees, as we saw on the Lincoln scoreboard.
One thing Joe Girardi mentioned when Meredith interviewed him before the game is that the bullpen is well rested because of what Tanaka did last night. So they've got a full complement of arms out there in the bullpen to back up Whitley if needed.
And a swing and a miss from Romero and another strikeout for Whitley. Let's take a look at the answer to tonight's New York Smokers Quit Line quiz. We take a look at the question first. Derek Jeter is one of 4 Yankees to record at least 200 hits in a season since 1990. Who are the other 3?
I'm going to say Bernie Williams is one of them. Maybe Paul O'Neill.
Bernie Williams, Alfonso Soriano, and Robbie Cano.
Yeah.
Here's Dustin Ackley with 1 away. Ackley, chopper towards third. Solarte has it. 2 away.
Well, Solarte threw a frozen rope over there to Mark Teixeira.
And you mentioned Whitley kind of being stretched out from being a reliever. His high in terms of pitches so far this season, 91. But here in the fourth with 2 outs, he's at 43. He's got a lot of room to work with.
He's got a lot of room to work with, but now going 91 pitches, you would expect the next stop on the board would be at least 100, if needed.
Well, this is really the only guy that's gotten to him. Logan Morrison had that solo home run back in the second.
Changeup.
Whitley ahead 0-2. Wow, based on that at bat, Whitley may have taken offense to that home run that Morrison hit. A quick 1-2-3 inning with 2 more strikeouts for Whitley, who has a 6-1 lead as we head to the 5th. fact, he had gone 178 starts without a complete game until tonight, and that was a major league record without one. So Scherzer gets the job done for the Tigers tonight and gets the win. Meantime, Whitley's getting it done for the Yankees tonight on the mound as he has a 6-1 lead. He's allowed just 3 hits to the Mariners. The only damage is solo home run from Logan Morrison.
By the way, that home run that he gave up to Morrison, combining the major leagues and the minor leagues this year, that's the first home run he allowed all season.
Swing and a miss from Alfonso Soriano. Here's a guy who produced tonight. Doubled in his second at bat, knocked in 2 runs. And then threw in a stolen base, stole third for good measure. Soriano trying to battle on 0-2. Leon gets him chasing another breaking ball outside.
Well, we want to wish a happy birthday to a former Yankee. Hideki Matsui turns 40 years old today, and 2008 in Oakland, on his birthday, on this day, he hit a grand slam home run. The first Yankee ever to hit a grand slam on his birthday. So happy birthday, Hideki. Tanjobe Omebeto.
And hopefully he's celebrating in as equally happy a way, but a different way. I don't think he's hitting a grand slam tonight. Let's go back to the studio with Ryan Ruocco. Ryan. All right, Ryan, thank you. As we've got 2 outs here in the top of the 5th. And Yangervis Solarte will be the batter against Dominic Leone, who has looked very good, and as Kenny said, has really good numbers in relief this season. And he's in with strike 1. Solarte to second. Cano, the easy underhanded toss to Morrison, and that will do it. So a 1-2-3 inning in the top of the 5th, and as we head to the bottom of the 5th, it's 6-1 Yankees on yes.
He's going to give you the shirt off his back. Look at that. And I bet he signed it for you too. Willie, throwing that off the sides. Next to our jersey will be the first visit tonight. Black, brown, white, black, and red. Once again,
Fans, you can now tweet Yes Network your best fan photo using hashtag YesFanPhoto. for a chance to have it shown during the game. It's brought to you by AT&T. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning here in Seattle. Yankees trying to pull off the sweep, and they've got a 6-1 lead right now, as Chase Whitley has pitched very well, allowing just 3 hits to the Mariners. They'll face the 8-9-1 hitters. Mike Zunino, the catcher, leading things off. And that is strike 1.
Yeah, he went around too far. Fastball up in the eyes.
Whitley already on the night with 6 strikeouts. And Zunino pops one up. And that'll be Brian Roberts, 1 away. You know, I was just thinking of this, Kenny, as we track that pop-up. The fielders are getting a little different view. When the game began, they looked up into the clouds in the sky, and now they're looking up at the roof.
You know, the roof here is, well, it's a dark background, so they should be able to follow the pop-ups and fly balls. You know, you don't get the feeling that you're indoors even when the roof is on, because it's like a carport, and you still get the feeling of the outside air here at Safeco Field.
Yep, you see it all open in left field. There are openings in right field as well. And then outside that CenturyLink field, just over the left field wall, that's where the world champion Seattle Seahawks call home. 1 away here in the bottom of the 5th. This is Brad Miller, and that is strike number 2. Boy, Whitley does not waste pitches.
Strike after strike. Well, they always say good hitting is contagious. It appears in the last 2 nights, good pitching is contagious. Tanaka last night, and Whitley following him with a very good performance tonight as he goes into the 5th inning with a 5-run lead. He's allowed just a run on 3 hits. Here's Masahiro relaxing.
We've seen the 3 rookie pitchers in the series. Nuno, Tanaka, Whitley. Might not be your conventional rookies, as Miller drives one out to right field, and that'll hit off the base of the wall as Soriano tracks it down. Miller heads to second with a 1-out double.
Well, this seems to be the only hitter that's given Whitley real problems. Morrison did hit the home run, but Miller, who came into the game hitting 175, is now 2 for 2. He's had a single and this booming double over the head of Soriano in right center field. Hits up against the base of the wall. And Miller is on with 1 out.
Miller last night had a single, and in the opener singled as well. So he's enjoyed a solid series for the Mariners. Back to the top of the order, and Endy Chavez has struck out and popped to first. This is a chopper foul. Well, is it the last regular season game for Derek Jeter? That factor? Is it the Macklemore bobblehead night?
Well,
I don't know, but past couple nights we've had about high 29,000 fans. Tonight here, 40,596.
Well, maybe a combination of both.
I would believe that.
Yeah, well, like you said, the last time for these Mariner fans to see Derek Jeter. And here's Macklemore, a native of Seattle. Took a selfie and then throws out the first pitch, and it looked like it was going to be a strike.
And you know what I like about that? He went all the way up on the rubber, all 60 feet 6 inches. Swing and a miss from Chavez. 1-2. So did he post that selfie on his Twitter account?
He probably did.
At Macklemore?
You know, I got $20 in my pocket. I do some thrift shopping. It's a great city.
Well, you're not going to have time tonight.
Yeah.
Then we're headed to San Francisco. I'm not sure you'd get much for $20 down there. Chopper to short. You see Miller retreat as Jeter crosses the diamond, and Teixeira has the catch. Now Meredith before the game did her own, with a gigantic noggin on the left, by the way, did her own Macklemore pose. I'm trying to study up for the game, and Meredith, she's just goofing around.
Gonna pop some tags. I don't see Meredith thrift shopping, though. Do you? I really don't. I think
I can see her window shopping.
Yeah, she goes to the high-end places.
Yeah. So 2 away and a runner on second here in the 5th, and this is James Jones.
Now, years ago, it used to be Jimi Hendrix when I was playing. He's a native of Seattle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now it's McLemore.
Yeah. So Meredith, what is it, high-end or thrift shopping?
Hey, Kenny, the only way I'm going to the high-end places is if I'm taking your credit card.
Oh, my goodness. I got enough people on my credit card back home.
Did you get to keep the McLemore bobblehead?
I have it right here, and it's crazy. I got a lot of requests, too. People texting me when they saw the picture, hey, can you get me one of those bobbleheads? So you might be carrying a bag of those on the plane tonight.
You know what? You already have an overage in weight on your luggage, okay? I'm not sure if 50 bobbleheads is going to help you out at all, unless you can do it as carry-on.
My suitcase is at about 75 pounds right now.
Wow. See? I told you she doesn't do thrift shopping.
Chopper up the middle. James Jones delivers. Brad Miller will round and score, and it's 6-2. 2 out hitting for the Mariners.
Well, we told you James Jones has been doing an excellent job since coming up from the minor leagues, a 300 hitter in the minors and a near 300 hitter in the major leagues. And he's shown the Mariners some speed, the ability to hit out of the top part of the order. And he slashes one through the middle. Here it is on Yes Mo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer, out of the reach of Derek Jeter. And the Mariners have their second run on the scoreboard.
And of course, we will see Meredith a little later on the post-game show with Ryan Ruocco. Go to her Twitter handle, though, at @M_Marakovitz. She's got a few pictures, and her Instagram account, by the way. For day in Seattle, the Space Needle. We had lunch up there. Great view. And Robbie Cano drives one out to center field. Ellsbury tracking to the wall, the leap, and he's got it. Jacoby Ellsbury with a tremendous catch to end things here in the 5th inning. Boy, Cano tested to knock out there last night and drove it over the wall, but tonight Ellsbury tracks it, leaps, got it at the wall, potentially taking away a home run from Robinson Cano. We've seen some great defense in this series, and those fans saw it as well.
Having a great series both offensively and defensively. This is Robbie Cano. Remember, he hit a 2-run homer last night in this direction. Thought maybe he had another one. But you see his reaction after he realizes Jacoby Ellsbury has different ideas. Ellsbury on the move. This is one of the best plays we've seen all year. Up against the wall, hauls it in for the final out of the inning. And watch the fan reaching over. Thought they had a home run ball, but no. Ellsbury has the ball in his glove.
Here's Brian Roberts leading off the top of the 6th, swing and a miss.
And here's the pitcher's perspective. Whitley thinks, oh man, I just gave up a 2-run homer. Watch his reaction. Oh my goodness.
The big exhale of relief. It could have been a 6-4 game. It would have been a home run. Instead, it keeps it a 6-2 game, and Roberts grounds out.
And we're going to take it. Watch the fans up here all reaching for the ball. But no. Saw a glove come out of nowhere. Snatch it.
And most of them are probably watching the flight of the ball, and all of a sudden they see Ellsbury just jump up right in front of them. One away here in the top of the 6th. John Ryan Murphy singled back in the 4th and scored a run. 6-2, the Yankees lead it. Murphy 1 for 2 on the night. He struck out in the 2nd, and as I mentioned, singled and scored in the 4th. Wow, good piece of 0-2 hitting. Knocks that one into left field. He's thinking second base all the way. No problem. A 1-out double for John Ryan Murphy.
Well, he struck out his first time up to run a hitless streak to 0 for 12, and now he's 2 for his last 2, and both of them are hit pretty well. This is a hanging breaking ball, and this is what you're supposed to do with it. Quick hands it, quick stroke, barrel of the bat to the ball, and runs it into the corner in right field where Ackley has to run it down.
And Brett Gardner about to dig into the box. He is 0 for 3 on the night. You know, the Yankees will have a decision eventually to make with Murphy. It might not be him, but Francisco Cervelli, eligible to come off the DL tomorrow. Doesn't mean they'll activate him, but he's down catching and getting some reps at Double-A Trenton right now. And will they carry 3 catchers? Joe Girardi just basically saying we're taking it day by day. We'll make that decision when the time comes. But they do like Murphy as a backup catcher at this level right now.
They'll like him a whole lot more if he scores on a base hit here.
Gardner looks at ball 2. Mentioned Gardner had 2 hits last night and 1 in the opener. Kenny, we've seen some really good patient at bats from him in this series. Seen a lot of pitches.
He's not afraid to hit with 2 strikes, and I think any good leadoff hitter is somebody who likes to run deep counts and is not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. He's capable of fouling off a lot of pitches and keep a pitcher working and working. He's a tough out.
Looks at ball 3. One thing you mentioned, he's a tough out because he can spoil pitches. That doesn't seem like the easiest thing to do because you still have to make contact.
Yeah.
You still have to try and stay alive.
It's almost like you just foul a pitch, especially the pitches away. You just kind of flick off to the side to keep your at bat going. Right now, he should get a decent pitch to hit.
And chops one to the right side. Logan Morrison will have it and toss on to Leone, but that's 2 away as Murphy heads to 3rd. Now you see the 6 runs on the board for the Yankees. I want to remind you fans, the Yankees, since they have scored 6 runs, You can log on to papajohns.com tomorrow for 50% off your online regular menu price order. Use promo code Yankee6 at papajohns.com.
Well, that's the 6 runs on the board. The Yankees have had a spell where they haven't scored more than 4 in any game. So they've broken that streak. I believe it's 12 straight games without scoring more than 4 runs. Tonight they put 6 up there.
Well, Derek Jeter would like to make it 7. He's got that chance. He's had a 3-for-3 night. And he's already knocked in 1 run. For Jeter tonight, the 286th game of his career with 3 or more hits. That ties Wade Boggs for 8th most in Major League Baseball since 1920.
That's a lot of 3-hit games. That's how you keep your career average well over 300.
One to Jeter. Fouls that one hard into the seats. 1-2.
There's sentiments from a young fan, and not only from him, from a lot of baseball fans all over the United States and Canada and throughout the world.
Figures to get a similar reception as he heads down to Oakland tomorrow for the first of 3.
It'll be the site of one of the most famous plays he ever made, the flip play.
And I cheated Derek, by the way. He has 2 runs batted in this game. Inside and looks like off the handle of his bat.
Yeah, Leon trying to keep that fastball and pound the fastball inside, not lay it out over the plate where Derek can just slash it to the opposite field. Inside, that was close to being a strike. I'm not so sure.
Two-two pitch. Jeter doesn't go after that outside fastball at 96, and the count goes to 3-2.
Up and away for a ball. You can see it's definitely off the plate. Mark Wegner, the home plate umpire.
John Ryan Murphy is at third with 2 away. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. 4th time Jeter has been on base tonight. And that'll bring up another guy who's had a very good night, Jacoby Ellsbury. A home run in the first, a walk in the third. He later scored. He's flown out to left field. And then defensively, we detailed him catching that ball off the bat of Robbie Cano. Two aboard with 2 outs. We're in the top of the 6th with the Yanks up 6-2. And inside on Ellsbury, he'll take a minute to kind of walk that one off. 1-0.
The Yankees have threatened in every inning but 2. And as we mentioned, hitting with runners in scoring position has picked up in this series after that 1-for-17 situation that they had in Kansas City.
Mariners have another reliever up in the bullpen, James Farquhar. Or Danny Farquhar, excuse me. One to Ellsbury. Little pop to the left side. Miller will have it, and that will do it. The Yankees get a couple aboard, threaten again here in the sixth, and they lead it 6-2 as we head to the bottom half of the sixth. Let's take a look at tonight's injury report brought to you by Montefiore Medical Center, Inspired Medicine. We mentioned earlier that the Mariners had to put Michael Saunders, one of their outfielders, on the DL today. He has a right shoulder injury, batting .272 on the season, 4 homers, 25 runs batted in. And he did play in this series, but that sore shoulder just too bad to go, so he's on the DL. They called up Jesus Montero from AAA for the first time this season. Bottom of the sixth, it's a 6-2 Yankees lead. Chase Whitley has been terrific so far, and he has struck out Kyle Seager twice in this game.
Once swinging and once looking.
First pitch swinging and fouled away.
That was first base coach Andy Van Slyke, who back in the day could catch just about anything hit his way. Gold Glove center fielder with the Pittsburgh Pirates. Played alongside Barry Bonds and Bobby Bonilla. Very strong outfield in Pittsburgh in those days.
And that pitch from Whitley missing 1-1. One of the lasting images of Van Slyke was sitting in center field in that Game 7 of the NLCS against the Braves, just stunned that the Braves had rallied and Sid Bream slid across home plate with a game-winning run, and the Braves were off to the World Series and Pirates were eliminated.
Now the story goes, because that was a base hit to Barry Bonds in left field, the story goes that Van Slyke had told Bonds to move in.
Seager hits one out to left. Gardner will have it, one away.
And he wouldn't move in, and the hit came to left field, and Bream scored by an eyelash. So that was the difference. And of course, the next generation of Van Slyke's are in the major leagues. His son Scott playing for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
And they've got talented outfielders, but he fits into that mix, and he can hit home runs.
Oh, yes, he
big
can.
time. Here's Stephen Romero, 0 for 2 on the night. He has popped to third and struck out.
Pitch count in good shape, 67 here in the 6th inning for Chase Whitley.
Whitley up in the zone, 2-0.
One of the few hitters he's fallen behind. 6 strikeouts in the game, and he hasn't walked a batter.
Fouls this one back over our head. Well, glad you're with us here on Yes. If you've hung in there, you're watching Chase Whitley pitch a terrific ball game just past midnight on the East Coast. Bob Lorenz and Ken Singleton with you, along with Meredith Morakovitz.
Yeah, it's still June 12th out here.
And that ball lifted to center field as Jacoby Ellsbury is back to the warning track. Out number 2. Well, this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. So it's still the 12th here, but it's Friday the 13th.
Ooh.
Back in New York City. Back on the East Coast.
Yeah, but it's coming.
It's inevitable, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going to happen.
And another ball to center field. That will be easily handed by Ellsbury, and that will do it. A nice 1-2-3 inning for Chase Whitley as we head to the 7th. Whitley and the Yankees have a 6-2 lead. B.com at Bat App, and a subscription to its premium features on his favorite smartphone or tablet are perfect for Father's Day. Dad will have access to such features as live look-ins, instant replay, live audio, free MLB TV, game of the day, and more. For more details, visit Yankees.com. Kenny, I know you already have that, but I hope one of your kids gets you that hat for Father's Day.
Yeah, oh wow. I'd immediately give it to my wife.
I think you could rock that look.
Maybe.
That is something, by the way, you might be able to find at a thrift shop with that $20 in your pocket. You know, what do you call 4 strikeouts in a game if you have it? It's a golden sombrero, right? And then
a golden fez?
Yeah. Well, Jeff Guagliata back at home has coined the term platinum fez. I'm going to try and sell him on leopard fez now. Here's Danny Farquhar, the new pitcher for the Seattle Mariners. He'll start things off by facing Mark Teixeira here in the top of the 7th. 6-2 Yankees on the Cadillac scoreboard. And a swing and a miss from Teixeira, 0-2.
Yeah, good changeup. For the most part, the Mariners bullpen has been very, very solid lately. And Farquhar has been pitching well, too. One run in his last 9 in the 3rd innings.
Now, speaking of pitching well, on the flip side tonight, Chase Whitley, and you had a stat that was astounding.
Yeah, he's been amazing. His control and ability to throw the ball over the plate. He's not what you would call a big strikeout pitcher, but he just doesn't let you hit the ball all that hard. He gets his changeup over. He's faced 109 batters since his last base on balls, and that was back in Chicago against the Cubs. He walked 1 batter that game.
He's got a lot of fly ball outs tonight, also has 6 strikeouts.
So he does a good job of keeping himself out of trouble. He doesn't put 3 men on base.
And a swing and a miss from Teixeira for out number 1. Also in line tonight to pick up his 2nd straight win. Remember, he had that run of 4 straight no decisions, and then he got the win. And he talked in glowing terms after getting that last win about Brian McCann catching him, and now tonight he's working with John Ryan Murphy. There's Alfonso Soriano, 1 for 3 on the night, but that one hit, a double back in the 3rd that knocked in a run. Knocked in 2. I shorted him.
2 for Jeter, 2 for Ellsbury, and 2 for Soriano.
Swing and a miss. Boy, they know to just work Soriano outside with that off-speed stuff.
Yeah, breaking ball, and sometimes in the dirt when he gets in chase mode, he seems to like it, but he can't reach it. See number 12 on his back? He put a 4 in front of that 1. That's the number of home runs he's hit in his career. There's the pitch, down and away, and he chased it.
So Farquhar comes in and gets a couple strikeouts, and now he'll face Carlos Beltran.
And because of his chasing these type of pitches, that's why Joe Girardi says I'm going to platoon now. And Ichiro will start against the right-handed pitchers, and Soriano will start against the lefties, because Elias started tonight, a left-hander, and Soriano was able to get to him. But now when the right-hander comes in, he's chasing pitches in the dirt. We'll probably see Ichiro go in the game defensively. Maybe pretty soon here.
Beltran tonight is 1 for 3. Single back in the 1st, struck out looking in the 3rd, and grounded back to the pitcher. One pitch, catches the inside, 1-2. Dylan Batant is up in the bullpen. Well, Kenny, earlier today, Carlos Beltran was out throwing in left field. Got that brace on that right elbow. He has the bone spurs, and they're trying to see if he can be an outfield option.
Yeah, build up that arm again. You can see he's got the brace on as he's hitting. And that was Robbie Thompson, the Yankees third base coach, out here earlier today. and trying to build up arm strength.
Chopper to the right side. Morrison will handle it and toss it over. So a 1-2-3 inning for Farquhar as we hit the 7th inning stretch with the Yankees leading it 6-2. And defensive changes here for the Yankees. Kenny nailed it on the head. Ichiro is out in right field, but he's only replacing Soriano, who moved over to left field.
Yeah,
and then Gardner has moved into center. Ellsbury is out of the game.
Yeah, different scenario than I thought it would be. And Ellsbury, in between innings, was talking with manager Joe Girardi and I believe head athletic trainer Stevie Donahue. And he's been bounding off walls this whole series, making some plays. So instead of just a straight Ichiro for Soriano, Soriano moves to left, Ichiro goes in the right, and Gardner will move into center field. And Ichiro, he's going to go out defensively in right field. So hopefully it's nothing too serious.
Looks like he's explaining it there to head trainer Stevie Donahue. First pitch swinging there by Logan Morrison. Put that in the books, 4-3, one away. Let's go back to the studio more with Ryan Ruocco. Ryan. All right, Ryan, thanks. And of course, we'll see Ryan and Meredith later on the post game, and stick around for that because Meredith might have an update on what's going on with Jacoby Ellsbury and why he was taken out of the game. She'll talk to Joe Girardi.
Meanwhile, Joe Girardi had Betances up in the bullpen throwing leisurely just in case Whitley gets into any sort of a jam. As we look at our Cadillac scoreboard, 6-2 Yankees in the bottom of the 7th.
Haven't been many jams for Whitley on the night. Just 5 hits allowed so far. John Ryan Murphy got as close as he could to that, and that screen right there before the ball bounced on the concrete. Again, Whitley has allowed just 5 hits. He struck out 6. And Mike Zunino drives one out to center field. Brett Gardner chasing to the wall and gone. Oh no, he got it! Unbelievable! What are these center fielders for the Yankees doing tonight? Fantastic defense, first from Ellsbury and now Brett Gardner on the fly ball by Mike Zunino.
Yeah, Gardner gave a deke to everybody in the stadium. Watch him go up, get it, and his reaction is, well, I didn't get it. First Ellsbury and now Brett Gardner. Essentially what the Yankees have, two outfielders who are capable of playing center field and playing it well. Here's Gardner's catch at the wall.
I love the reaction. So the center fielder's putting on a show and Gardner putting on a magic show, by the way. Well, they've been fun to watch defensively in this series.
Not only Gardner, Ellsbury, but Ichiro made a nice play in the opening game of the series.
And as Kenny said earlier, Brad Miller here, the number 9 hitter, one of the few guys with success off Whitley tonight. A single and then a double in the 5th, and he later scored. This one, a weak little pop up to third base. Solarte will have it. 7 in a row retired by Chase Whitley as we head to the top of the 8th, and the Yankees on top 6-2. Brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. Yankees lead it 6-2. Powered by an Ellsbury 2-run home run. Alfonso Soriano has a 2-run double. Jeter's gone 3 for 3. He has scored 2 runs and knocked in 2 runs. And then Chase Whitley has backed up all the offense with some terrific pitching. 7 innings of 5-hit ball. He has allowed just 2 runs, no walks, and he struck out 6. Ellsbury now out of the game. Again, no indication why yet, but of course Meredith Marakovitz will be all over it on the post-game show later on.
There's a new pitcher in the ball game for the Seattle Mariners, Joe Ervis. Medina, this guy is a hard thrower, and he too been good at the bullpen lately. 1 run in his last 11 games. He's pitched 10 in the 3rd innings over that stretch with 12 strikeouts. So you got Yo Ervis facing Jan Hervis. That's got to be a major league first.
No doubt about it. Solarte, by the way, 0 for 3 tonight.
Yo Ervis against Jan Hervis. Why, oh why. We've been looking forward to this matchup all season long.
Yo Ervis wants to throw a K into the mix. Jan Hervis does not.
6-2 on the Hyundai scoreboard. The Yankees leading.
I feel like you wrote that down in a notebook somewhere. Just a little asterisk, maybe a mental note.
No, it just came up. You could see it coming as soon as the bullpen door opened. You look at your scoreboard, your scorecard, you see who's coming up for the Yankees.
It's always nice to do a broadcast with you when we have Major League history, man.
You know what? This might be the first matchup with a pitcher-batter matchup with both their first names beginning with Y. It might be.
Now you know somebody's looking that up.
Well, we know our good friends at Elias Sports Bureau could look that up. Maybe not right now. It's 20-12.
Swing and a miss by Solarte. Second time he struck out tonight. Let's check out Friday's starting pitchers, brought to you by Verizon Fios, making life more entertaining with America's fastest, most reliable internet. That's powerful. It'll be David Phelps going for the Yankees in the first of 3 in Oakland against Sonny Gray, who is 6-2, 2.83 ERA. Our coverage begins at 9:30 with the Tri-State Ford pregame. Kenny, while I believe your Hervis versus Jan Hervis holds up,
yeah.
Y versus Y.
It's not.
Yeah.
You got Yu Darvish against
Yoenis Cespedes.
Yeah. There you go.
But I like what you were thinking. I like where your head was at. Wonder if anybody with a Y ever faced Yogi Berra. Brian Roberts walked back in the 4th and scored. He's also lined out to second and grounded to second.
Well, we will be seeing Yoenis Cespedes the next few days down in Oakland. Or as David Cohn likes to refer to him, Yoenis the Menace. Because he's done some damage against the Yankees.
Got Jack Curry back home burning the midnight oil.
Oh, Jack.
Says, how about Yovani Gallardo against Yadier Molina?
Yeah. You know, one thing we're doing here, we're finding out how many people are up late. Back east. You don't get much by Jack Curry, do you?
No.
No, not at all. He's probably already covered that on JCTV.
When he opens packs of baseball cards at the end, he may have come across a Yadier, a Jan Hervis. Two pitch coming up to Brian Roberts. And Medina misses away, 3-2.
But once again, Robert Skills is a leadoff hitter from days gone by. Already has a leadoff walk in the 4th inning and turned that into a run.
Out to right field and hooking foul. You hear ripple in the crowd, Kenny, and it's actually the wave. Never ceases to amaze me that it still exists.
You know, you're right, because it's been around for a long time. But to me, the wave usually breaks out when the home team is behind.
They're looking for some entertainment.
Exactly.
That might entertain them a little bit. Strikeout by Roberts, 2 straight strikeouts. Speaking of entertainment, let's check out, as promised earlier, our AT&T fan photo of the game. Tweet your photo to Yes Network using the hashtag YesFanPhoto for a chance to be shown in an upcoming game broadcast. It's brought to you by AT&T. Oh, the puppy. JT Marlin sitting in that one. His pup wearing a Yankees t-shirt. So 2 away here in the top of the 8th, and John Ryan Murphy is the batter. He has had a good night, a single, a double, and a run scored. And he looks at strike 1. I mentioned Medina likes to throw that fastball 95 miles an hour.
Good hook for a strike. Yeah, you're finding more and more bullpens with pitchers like Medina. They all throw hard. They're back into pitching staffs. As you get towards the later innings, they're usually bringing out guys who throw 94, 95 plus. The Yankees fans see that with Betances when he comes out. Adam Warren when he comes out of the bullpen. Pitchers who can get it up there and hurry and close out ball games. On the right there, that is Fernando Rodney, who's in charge of closing games for the Mariners. The Yankees have not seen him in this series.
We have visual proof that the hat isn't just askew when he pitches. It's that way all the time. John Ryan Murphy drills one out to left field, but right into the glove of Dustin Ackley. And that will do it. We're through the top of the 8th. The Yankees leading it 6-2 as the Mariners come to bat in the bottom of the 8th. The final out for the W.B. Mason postgame. Ryan Ruocco breaks down tonight's finale. Meredith Morakovitz talks to the team in the clubhouse, and Joe Girardi fields questions on the manager's report. It's all coming up on the W.B. Mason Yankees postgame only on Yes.
Yeah, before you sleep like a baby, you want to stay up and watch the postgame show.
And maybe get some news on Jacoby Ellsbury, why he came out. Well, Chase Whitley will be another part of that postgame story, as he's looking for his second straight win after 4 no decisions. He's up 6-2 and he's got 1 away here in the 8th.
Yeah, and he's retired 8 in a row coming down the stretch here. The Yankee bullpen's busy just in case they need a late call. It's 6-2 on the Hyundai scoreboard.
You see Betances up at the bullpen along with Matt Thornton. And as James Jones comes to the plate, I did not know this, Kenny.
Yeah.
That James Jones and Dylan Betances were teammates in the Youth Service League back in New York City when they were 15 to 17 years old, in that range. Betances was a year ahead of Jones, but they'd play together on tournament teams.
So Betances had some good defense behind him in center field.
Very good defense. And a pretty good hitter, too. As you said, Jones is off to a pretty good start in his major league career. The Brooklyn native. A single tonight. He knocked in a run back in the 5th.
Wow, look at the pitch counts in innings. Never more than 15.
Jones pops one up. Derek Jeter tracks it, and he's got it. 2 away.
Remember, we thought that his limit would be around 100. He's just crossing the 80 mark.
Well, John Ryan Murphy is going out to have a little 2-out chat with Chase Whitley, who's in very good spirits, leading this game 6-2. That pitch count low at 82 pitches. With Robbie Cano coming up. Cano is singled in 3 at-bats.
And Cano was also robbed. Ooh, Joe Girardi coming out. And I think Joe had Murphy go out and talk to Whitley to give Thornton more time to warm up.
All right, so 82 pitches thrown by Whitley, and he's getting congratulations all around on the game he's had. We'll take a quick break. With an all-new episode as we get the inside story of Ron Guidry's dominant performance in 1978 when he struck out 18 batters in one game. Don't miss a new Moments of Glory next Wednesday at 11, only on Yes. Well, you see Chase Whitley now in the dugout. Got the jacket on here on a cool night in Seattle, and he did a nice job of cooling off the Mariners' bats all night.
Yeah, congratulations from his teammates, coaching staff. It's furthest he's ever gone in a major league game, 7 2/3 innings, and 82 pitches. He retired the last 10, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, the last 9 hitters he retired in order.
And again, left having thrown just 82 pitches. Girardi wanted the lefty-lefty matchup of Thornton against Robbie Cano, and Matt Thornton starts Cano off with ball 1. What a tremendous line. 7 2/3 innings, 5 hits, just 2 runs allowed, and no walks.
It bears mentioning again, he hasn't walked a batter since his start in Chicago. And that was on May 21st.
Thornton in with strike 2, 1-2.
Cano didn't like that call. We get another look. There's the target of Murphy. Does the ball go right in the glove? Yeah, just about. So that's got to be a strike. We get the overhead look. Yep, that clipped the corner.
Robbie fouls that one off. 97 miles per hour.
This might not be just the last out appearance for Thornton, because if you look ahead, after Cano you have Seager, then you have Romero's right-handed hitter, but then you have 2 more lefties. So there's a possibility that if he can get Cano, you'll see him in the 9th inning as well.
Two pitch to Cano. Misses away and high, 3-2. Robbie fouls that one away. Thornton, one of those rare relief pitchers that works from a windup a little bit instead of just the straight stretch.
Well, it doesn't matter how you do it. If you stand on your head and get people out, they'll let you do it.
We'll do it again on 3-2. Goes fastball and misses right underneath Robbie's chin, and it's a 2-out walk.
So Cano on base for the 3rd time tonight. He has a hit, been hit by a pitch, and now ball 4.
Now another lefty in Kyle Seager. Seager struck out twice rather, and flew out to left field. Seager lifts one out to right center field. Ichiro tracking. Gardner over as well, and Ichiro's got it for the final out here in the 8th. Well, coming up in the top of the 9th should be the final regular season at bat for Derek Jeter, and for Derek, it has been quite a ride. That's his first major league hit in '95 in Seattle, and there have been plenty since then.
Well, now it's time for the Land Rover drives of the game, and they're provided by the Yankee captain, Derek Jeter. Not one, not two, but 3 hits on the night. He has scored a couple of runs and driven in a couple. And Derek Jeter has provided us with the Land Rover drives of the game.
A 3-for-3 night. He's been on base all 4 times. He walked in the 6th and scheduled about 2nd here in the top of the 9th.
Now we know this is could be Derek's last appearance here in Seattle. But you never know when the next Derek Jeter type baseball player will come around, and might have been one of those youngsters we've seen with the number 2 on their backs all these years. And you can only hope that the Yankees draft that same type of player, that same type of young player.
Well, he won't wear 2, but if he can play like number 2,
yeah,
that'd be a good thing.
That's true. Nobody's going to wear 2 again.
Well, Brett Gardner will start things off here in the 9th against Charlie Furbush. 27 games, 19 innings, 19 hits allowed, 19 strikeouts. Just getting word that Jacoby Ellsbury left the game with right hip tightness.
And that goes back to Kansas City when he tripped going around first base. And it might have been exasperated by leaping against the walls here in Seattle.
So again, stick around for the post game. Joe Girardi will certainly address that in his manager's report. Meredith Marakovitz will be there. Gardner has yet to be on base tonight. Sack bunt got runners to 2nd and 3rd back in the 4th inning, and then Jeter knocked those runs in with a single. Grounder to 2nd. Cano to 1st, 1 away.
The shortstop, number 2, Derek Jeter.
Very nice ovation for Jeter here in his 5th at bat of the night in the 9th, and looks at ball 1.
Yeah, and Mariner fans sensing that this could be it for Seattle as far as Derek Jeter's concerned.
Fouls that one back, evens the count at 1-1.
Well, I believe in Anaheim. Derek left his last game in Anaheim, hit a home run. Here in Seattle, if this is his last game, he's had a very good game. 3 hits, 2 runs, and 2 runs batted in. 2 runs scored, 2 runs batted in. So he's been leaving some memories for the fans on the West Coast.
You hear a few Derek Jeter chants around the stadium here. Two 2-1 pitch. And hot shot off the glove of Charlie Furbush, who will try to track it. Throws to 1st and got it. Well, good hustle there by Furbush. Jeter with a chance for his 4th hit of the night, but Furbush throws him out.
Oh, you hear the fans booing.
Nice moment there as Jeter acknowledges the crowd. They cheered him as he was coming off the field.
And now they're going to go out to the mound and check on Furbush as the ball hit off his glove, but good hustle here And he made a nice play, but did he injure himself? Now he's going to stay in the game. This would have been Jeter's 4th hit, and credit Furbish for hustling. He's the only one who had a chance. And this is what the fans are reacting to, the final play. They wanted him to be safe. And we take a look as Morrison's going to take the throw from Furbish. And yep, he's out.
Well, just by a half a step, maybe a quarter step. And that brings up Ichiro. Came in as a defensive replacement once Ellsbury left the game with that right hip tightness. Ichiro got a nice ovation as he stepped to the plate. Two away here in the top of the 9th. Yankees lead it 6-2. Ichiro looks at strike 2. Ichiro started last night, had a single in 4 at-bats. And he's got a single there. Works his wizardry again with a bat, a 2-out single.
It's like he was waiting for that one mistake, and there's the lady with the Ichi meter. 35 hits this year.
Meredith had a chance to talk to her yesterday, Amy Franz. It was her birthday, and Ichiro actually went out, signed a baseball for her, personalized it, and tossed it up to her. Now Mark Teixeira with 2 away and Ichiro on first. Tex will be looking for his first hit of the night.
Yankees, the way they scored in this game, it's like you're supposed to do your Christmas shopping early and often. 4 runs in the first 3 innings, then two more in the 4th.
And Mark Teixeira with a 2-out base hit. And the Yankees have something going again here in the top of the 9th.
The Yankees have been retired in order. Well, 3 innings. The Seattle bullpen's done a pretty good job up until this point. Furbish is the first reliever. I should say the second reliever to allow some hits in this game. Dominic Leone allowed 2 in 2 2/3 innings.
Soriano looked good in his first 2 at-bats. A fly ball to center and then a double in the 3rd, but he has struck out swinging his last 2 times up. Swing and a miss there. And those pitchers were right-handers, getting him away with outside stuff. We'll see what the left-hander Furbish has for him. Off speed, gets him to swing over it. 0-2. Ichiro on second, Teixeira on first. Here's the 0-2 to Soriano. And a swing and a miss. And he got it. So Yankees get a couple aboard, but nothing more. And as we head to the bottom of the 9th, last chance for the Mariners, down by 4. presented by T-Mobile.
It's going to be Jacoby Ellsbury. He did it on both sides of the ball. First of all, got the Yankees on the board with a 2-run home run in the first inning. They were off and running. But then he saved some runs on defense. This is Robinson Cano, and it looked like it might be leaving the ballpark, but Ellsbury had different ideas. And this is a T-Mobile game changer, offensively and defensively, for Jacoby Ellsbury.
And of course, Ellsbury later left the game with some right hip tightness. So stick around for the post game. Meredith Marakovitz will have the latest from the clubhouse, and Ryan Ruocco full game highlights and keep you updated on the other games back in the studio. Sean Kelly going to try and wrap things up. Kelly, of course, just came off the disabled list, joined the Yankees in the series. Now here he is in his 17th appearance of the season.
Yeah, had been on the DL with a bad back, but now, well, he is back. The Yankees obtained Kelly from the Seattle Mariners for Abraham Almonte, who had been in big leagues with the Mariners and their starting center fielder at the beginning of the year. He didn't work out well, and he's in the minors. And James Jones is in center now, doing a pretty good job for these Mariners.
For Kelly, his first appearance since May 6th. He just said that back tightness that he had as Stephen Romero drives one out to right. Ichiro back to the wall. I'm just going to wait to see if he caught it, because these guys have been doing it all game. Ichiro's got it one away. Boy, this has been fun to watch.
Yeah, there's been some outfielding by the Yankee outfielders in this series. Ichiro up against the wall and hauls it in. Wasn't it Pink Floyd had an album, Up Against the Wall?
The Wall.
No, the Wall, yeah.
And look at Ichiro, looks at the wall like, get out of my way. I'm busy catching a ball here. And he knows that wall well from playing here so many years. His old stomping grounds out there in right field. One away in the ninth. Dustin Ackley is the batter. 0 for 3 on the night. I was mentioning Kelly with that back. There are times he'd wake up and he couldn't even bend over and touch his toes, and then he'd start to feel better and then regress. Ackley to right, but foul. And Ackley to center field. That chases Brett Gardner back. And Gardner tips off his glove and bounces against the wall. Ackley to second.
That was almost another circus catch by a Yankee outfielder. Brett Gardner got leather on it, but not enough to haul it in. Tips it. Maybe had a second chance. No, he didn't. And Ackley's going to have himself a two-base hit. Good effort, but this time a Yankee outfielder comes up just a hair short. And Ackley's at second with a double.
That'll bring up Logan Morrison, who hit a home run off Chase Whitley in the second, but since has struck out and grounded to second. And David Robertson starts to get loose in the bullpen. We saw him up last night before Masahiro Tanaka closed things out with a complete game. Kelly in with a strike, evens a count at 1-1.
Yeah, we mentioned when Carlos Beltran came off the disabled list that a certain amount of rust applied. The same thing, same situation with Sean Kelly. Joe Girardi bringing him in a situation where you've got a 4-run lead to work with, chance to shake off a little rust here, get back on a big league mound, and compete. Good pitch to the outside corner. if the Yankees should win this game and sweep this series, they would split the season series with the Seattle Mariners. And that's kind of doing it the hard way after losing the first 3 and being swept in New York and then coming out here and sweeping 3.
It would also be their first sweep in Seattle since August 13th through 15th of 2009. They've got to get 2 more outs to do it.
Yep.
Ackley's at second, and Kelly about to throw a 2-2 pitch to Logan Morrison. Bounces 1, 3, and 2. Through the signs with John Ryan Murphy. 3-2 pitch. Morrison chopping that one foul to Teixeira.
The results from season series with the opposing ball clubs in the Yankee press guide only goes back for 10 years. The Yankees have not lost the season series to the Mariners going back to before 2004. Now they've had a couple of years where they've tied. 5-5 in 07 and 3-3 in 06. But every other year the Yankees won the season series. The best they can do this year is tie.
They'll redo it on 3-2. And Morrison out to right and over the wall. A ground rule double that will score the runner and make it a 6-3 game. And Joe Girardi is going to go to the bullpen. So we'll step aside as Girardi makes the call for David Robertson. Stay with us. Try to wrap this game up. The Mariners have scored 1 here in the 9th. It's now 6-3, and it has become a save situation for David Robertson.
Yeah, he comes on now. Sean Kelly was not throwing as well as we're used to seeing him. His slider has a lot more bite, and his fastball can get up there at 94, 95. That wasn't it tonight. As you could see, he was a little bit rusty on the mound, and so it turns into a save situation for David Robertson, and he comes in, tries to nail this down. He's got Zunino and Miller to work with. Those are the next 2 hitters, as the Yankees are in search of 2 outs and then a sweep.
Zunino has failed to get a hit against him in just 1 at bat, and he has never faced Miller. Zunino tonight 0 for 3. He's flown out to center field twice and grounded to second. Robertson looking for save number 16 on the season. Has 2 outs to get. Logan Morrison is on second. Starts him off with strike 1.
And a good curveball.
Great curveball again outside, 0-2.
Yeah, that was better than the first one. Man, straight down. So a native of Alabama stands a chance to win this one, and a native of Alabama has a chance to get the save.
Two pitch from Robertson. Breaking ball again, and Zunino pounds that one into the dirt.
Yeah, most of Zunino's hits in this series have been on the fastball. And Robertson's got a curveball, swing and miss type of hook. If he throws him a fastball here 0-2, it'd probably be out of the strike zone. Trying to get him to swing at it, strike himself out. Just a waste type pitch.
John Ryan Murphy goes through the signs. The 0-2 again. Goes fastball, smokes him 91 miles an hour, 2 away.
All those curveballs set up the heat. It was time for the express after all those curves. And Zunino, as you can see, he's late. He's also headed back to the dugout without number 2. David Robertson. Blew it right on by him.
So now the Yankees 1 out away from a 3-game sweep here in Seattle. And here's Brad Miller, who's had the most success of any Mariners hitter tonight. A single and a double in 3 at-bats.
That's a beauty.
Solarte a step onto the grass at third base.
Now he can drop back a few steps after strike 2. Miller will not be bunting.
Good pitch inside with a little cut motion on it.
He's got a couple of different fastballs. He's got the one that we saw, the Zunino, that he threw right by him. Then he's got that little cutter. It's got the Mariano action on it.
0-2 pitch from Robertson coming up. Gets him to swing and miss at a pitch in the dirt. Murphy to first, and that will do it. 2 strikeouts for David Robertson. Save number 16 on the season, and a 3-game sweep for the Yankees here in Seattle as they win this one tonight 6-3. So winning night tonight for Chase Whitley, who wins his 2nd straight ball game as a Yankee after 4 straight no decisions. And then David Robertson picks up the save with 2 strikeouts. All right, so the Yankees get the win 6-3. Kenny and I will have more coming up here from Seattle. But right now, let's send it back to Ryan Ruocco in the studio for what's ahead on the postgame. Ryan?